Hello, you beautiful nerds. It's the spiritual hybrid of Abed and Troy back again to chat about DC movies. This isn't a troll tour or anything where I just shit on all these movies, even though the last two were... oh god. But today we're actually going to talk about a good movie. Now, I shit on Wonder Woman 84, but that's just because the story for that movie is so incredibly bad. Which is especially surprising because it's like they forgot everything that worked so well in this movie. In fact, this might be my favorite of the DC films. I mean, out of the ones I've seen, I only like 2 of them, so... but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about what we're talking about. So get high enough to tolerate the sound of my voice, because I'm gonna rant for a while about... the very beginning of this movie is kind of weird. Actually, the very end of this movie is weird too, but we'll get to that. I'm not a big fan of entire movies set during a flashback. And the whole what it means to be a hero voiceover feels dumb and shouldn't be a thing people do anymore. Not that doing this makes your movie bad, it just reminds me of this movie.
It's me, Peter Parker.
And this movie.
They say your whole life flashes before your eyes when you die.
And also this movie.
It all started on the day that I died.
When the movie finally starts, it starts in a mystical land called the Themyscira, a land of Amazonian warriors that is hidden from the world of man. We see Diana as a little kid and she wants to train as a warrior, but for some reason her mom doesn't want her to. She's all, you can't be a warrior like the rest of us. Now let me show you all this dope shit that you could play with if you were a warrior like the rest of us. It's pretty heavily implied that Diana is not like the other Amazons.
You are stronger than you believe. Ares is alive.
The stronger she gets, the sooner he'll find her.
And the God Killer, the weapon that's strong enough to kill a god. Can I see it?
Pretty heavy-handed foreshadowing. This first fight scene kind of looks like shit, which is weird because later the fight choreography is actually really well shot, but this one is clunky and dumb. Fight scenes where there are a whole bunch of jump cuts look really discombobulating and a lot less impressive since you can't really see what the fuck is going on. Once the fight begins, there's not a shot that lasts longer than 2 seconds. A lot of the most impressive fight scenes give the shots enough time to breathe so you can see how good the choreography is. God, I remember how pissed I was when Batman Begins came out. I must have watched 100 different featurettes about it before it came out. And I remember them talking about all the work they put into the fight choreography and what they did to develop Batman's fighting style. And then when the movie came out, the fight scenes look like this. Is Batman, is that, are we fighting? Is this a fight scene? Later in the Dark Knight series, the fight scenes get a lot better, but all those quick cuts and super close-ups are just, I mean, who likes this? Sorry, I actually do. This movie's about to get good, I swear. So while Diana is pensively thinking about how strong she is, I guess, she sees a fighter plane enter the invisible barrier that separates the Themyscira from the rest of the world and crash into the water. Then a bunch of pre-Nazis follow. So Diana dives into the water and saves Steve from certain doom and meets her first man dude.
You're a man.
Yeah.
Steve, Diana, and the Amazons kill the pre-Nazis in a pretty amazing fight scene, and they bring Steve in for questioning. He tells them that there's a huge war that they're totally missing out on.
War. What war?
The war. The war to end all wars.
Yeah, until the next war. You always hyping shit, Steve. The Amazons suspect that Ares, the god of war, is responsible for World War I. So Diana decides to sail to the world of man with Steve and save it from the tyranny of Ares. Easily one of my favorite things about this movie is the dynamic between Chris Pine and Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot?
My name is Gal Gadot.
Chris Pine is kind of always great, but I was pleasantly surprised by Gal in this role. She was good in BVS too, but she wasn't in that movie very much. In this, she's expressive, vulnerable, and sincere to the point where her performance comes off really natural.
What about you? Are you not sleeping? Does the average man not sleep?
When Steve and Diana make it to London, they hook up with Steve's assistant, the woman from The Office.
It's Etta Candy. I'm Steve Trevor's secretary.
You sound like you're from London.
All this stuff is pretty cute. It's your standard fish out of water shit, but it really works because Chris Pine and Gal Gadot's chemistry. Later, Diana finds out that the Germans are going to unleash a deadly gas on the Western Front, so her and Steve decide to go there and stop them. I mentioned in my top 10 superheroes video how much I love the character of Wonder Woman in this movie, and my feelings haven't changed. She inspires everyone around her to be the best versions of themselves, and that's literally the meaning of being a hero and a role model. The next scene, the No Man's Land fight, this is the peak of the film. This was when the movie was at its best to me. The action is really stellar, but it's also an example of what I said earlier, how she inspires people to do better.
She's taking all the fire, let's go!
After this, the pacing of the movie gets kind of weird. From this point, we get a series of scenes where Steve is just chasing Diana around. Diana tries to kill... Is it Van Houten? It's probably not, but I'm not gonna look that shit up. Who cares? Diana tries to kill Van Houten and Steve stops her. Then Diana runs away. Then Van Houten gasses a small town and then Diana runs away. She gets to the small town and blames Steve for stopping her from killing Van Houten. Then Diana runs away. Then she's finally like, fuck the bullshit, I'm about to go kill this nigga right now. I seriously don't know why they didn't let her kill him before. I also don't buy that Steve's very normal self was able to stop Diana from doing anything. Later, Wonder Woman catches up to our big bad Van Houten. There's a small dust up, but Wonder Woman handles this fool pretty easy. But much to her surprise, when she kills him, the war doesn't end. Steve explains to Diana that people aren't just bad or good, and there's definitely not a mythical creature making good people bad.
After everything I saw, it can't be, it cannot be. They were killing each other. Killing people they cannot see, children. Children.
You don't think I wish I could tell you that it was one bad guy to blame? It's not. We're all to blame. I'm not. But maybe I am.
I really liked this when I thought that it was the end of the movie. It seemed like Diana's fish out of water arc was coming full circle and she was finally understanding the complexities of morality and the human spirit. But then the movie wanted to be like, psych, we got a big CGI villain fight, and it's this very, very cool looking guy. I guess Ares saw Man of Steel because he does the same stupid thing where he goes, think of how powerful we could be together. Look at this fake image of a field and join me. So when Diana rejects his hand in marriage or something, these evil dudes always want to marry somebody. But anyway, after she says no, we get that signature smoke and firefight. All the stuff in this final battle is kind of dumb and feels like it was written by a children.
I will destroy you! Okay.
The dialogue is laughably bad and nobody's motivations make any sense. You should definitely kill her. You just killed like 10 other people. Like, where is the line, Diana? So Diana shoots a fucking spirit bomb at Van Houten and the war ends.
Share your energy with me! It's coming!
Which I guess that means that Steve was wrong and humans really were being controlled by Ares.
Maybe people aren't always good. Ares or no Ares.
Isn't that cute? But it's wrong!
So then there's a bad narration because we have to be reminded that the whole movie is a flashback.
And now I know that only love can truly save the world.
Ugh, gross. I hate this. Whatever. Diana wraps things up, puts on her costume, and slow-mo jumps through the air like she's in a goddamn Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie. I know that it sounds like I didn't like this flick, but I genuinely enjoyed it. It's just fun, and a lot of the DC movies are severely lacking in fun. Man of Steel is an exercise in recreational sadness, and ironically, the only fun parts in BVS involved Wonder Woman. It's shot well and had great action, but what they really got right is the character of Wonder Woman. Diana is supposed to be a beacon of hope, truth, and love. When she sees suffering, she is compelled to help. She beats the shit out of bad guys, but she also tries to inspire and empower the innocent. She is just so goddamn good. Like she's a good person. When she gets to the world of man, she can't conceive why someone would stand for any of the injustices that she experiences. And that's partially because she's so strong she can do whatever she wants and save whoever she wants. So she does.
I go where he tells me to go and I do what he tells me to do.
Oh, well, where I'm from, that's called slavery.
I really like her.
It's so fucking good and does so many things right that I forget that it's a DC movie. But the last 30 minutes are a fucking mess. But that doesn't ruin it for me. My ranking, I liked it. Before I go, I should tell you to like and subscribe. I mean, you probably stopped watching by now because you can kind of sense that I was wrapping up. You can always kind of feel when I'm about to wrap up, right? But if you're still around, feel free to leave a like. Speaking of which, I'm still working on that Utopia comparison video and my Arrow review. That's taken me a while. Sorry to the people who asked for that. I haven't forgotten about you or anything. But regardless, anything you guys want to chat about, feel free to leave it in the comments. Stay safe, my little Amazon warriors. Happy Women's History Month, and may the force be with you.